Welcome back to Everyday English Stories. Today I want to share something with you that I wish someone had shared with me much earlier in life. Not motivation that disappears after 1 hour. Not advice that sounds good but means nothing when things get hard. Real principles. Honest truths that actually change how you think, how you act, and where your life goes. Most people struggle not because they are not smart enough, not because they are not talented enough, not because life was too hard on them. They struggle because nobody ever taught them these simple but powerful truths. Today I am giving them to you, all 10 of them. Stay until the end, because the final message is the one that ties everything together, and it might be the most important thing you hear today. Let's begin. Principle 1. Stop comparing yourself to others. Here is a habit that quietly destroys more people than almost anything else. They look at what other people have. They see someone their age with more money, a better job, a more impressive life, and immediately they feel that something is wrong with them, that they are falling behind, that they are simply not good enough. And the moment that feeling enters, something important starts to die inside them. Not their ability, not their potential, their confidence, their belief in their own path. Because comparison does not just make you feel bad, it makes you stop, it freezes you. It takes your energy away from the one thing that actually matters, which is your own growth, and sends it towards something completely outside your control, which is other people's lives. Let me tell you something honest. If someone around you is more successful right now, that does not mean you are behind. It means they started earlier, or they had a different opportunity, or they made different choices at different moments. It says nothing final about you. Your path is yours. Your timing is yours. And the only comparison that will ever actually help you is this one. Am I better today than I was yesterday? Am I learning something I did not know before? Am I building something, even slowly, even imperfectly? That is the only race worth running, because in that race, you are the only competitor, and nobody can take your position away from you. Here is something else important. The people whose lives look the most impressive from the outside are often dealing with things you cannot see. Their confidence, their cars, their social media presence, none of it tells you the full story of what is happening inside their life. But even if their life really is going well, that has absolutely nothing to do with yours. Their success does not take anything from you. There is no limited amount of success in the world that runs out when someone else takes some. From today, make one clear decision. You will not look sideways at other people's lives and use what you see to measure your own worth. You will look forward at your own path and use your energy to move along it. That one shift alone changes everything. Principle 2. Nothing is actually impossible. Most people decide something is impossible before they ever truly try. They hear that something has never been done before. They listen to people around them saying it cannot work. They feel the fear of failure, and they call that fear wisdom. They tell themselves they are being realistic. But being realistic is not the same as being right. And history proves this over and over again. For many years, scientists and doctors and the most educated people in the world agreed on one thing. No human being could run a mile in under 4 minutes. It was physically impossible. The human body simply could not do it. This was not a guess. It was the accepted truth of the time. Then, in 1954, a man named Roger Bannister decided he did not accept that truth. He trained his body. But more importantly, he trained his mind. He refused to allow the word impossible to live inside his thinking about this goal. And one day he ran the mile in 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Now here is the most interesting part. Within just a few months after Bannister broke that record, other runners also broke it. Not one or two, many, because the moment one person proved it was possible, the invisible wall that the word impossible had built inside everyone's mind suddenly disappeared. The lesson is not just about running. The lesson is about what the word impossible actually does inside a person's mind. It builds a wall that is made entirely of belief, not of actual limitation, and when that wall is broken by one brave person, it disappears for everyone around them too. So when someone tells you that something you want to do is impossible, understand what they are actually saying. They are saying they cannot see how it would work. They are saying they do not believe it is possible based on what they have seen before. But what has never been done is not the same as what cannot be done. The airplane was impossible until it was not. The telephone was impossible until it was not. Reaching the moon was impossible until it was not. Every great thing in the world was once called impossible by someone who had simply not yet seen it done. The only real question is whether you will be the one who decides not to believe in that word. Because the people who change things are always the people who refuse to accept that something was impossible before they tried it themselves. Principle 3. The right time is now. There is a sentence that has cost people more than almost any other sentence in the world. I will start when the time is right. Think about how many dreams have died inside that sentence. How many books were never written? How many businesses were never started? How many important conversations were never had? How many lives were never fully lived? All because the person who wanted to begin kept waiting for a moment that never came. Here is the hard truth about the right time. It does not exist as a future moment you are waiting for. It only exists as the present moment you are standing in right now. Think about the people you know who are older than you, the ones who look back on their lives with regret. What do they regret? Almost never the things they tried and failed at. Almost always the things they wanted to try but never did. The dreams they postponed, the risks they avoided, the paths they never took because they were always waiting for a better moment. Your capability right now is not the same thing as your readiness. You will never feel completely ready. Readiness is a feeling that comes after you start, not before. Think about this. When you are sick in the middle of the night, you do not wait for the morning to feel pain. The pain is immediate. It wakes you up. It demands your attention right now. Your dreams and your goals deserve that same urgency. Not next month, not after you get the right conditions, not when everything is lined up perfectly. Because everything will never be lined up perfectly. Life does not work that way for anyone. The time you are waiting for will not come, but the time you are standing in right now can be used for something real, something meaningful, something that moves you one step closer to where you want to be. From today, make the decision not to start everything at once, not to have the whole plan figured out, just to take one real step today towards something that matters to you. Because this moment, right now, is the only right time there has ever been. Principle 4. Whatever you do, do not stop. If I had to give you only 2 words of advice for your entire life, here is what those 2 words would be. Don't stop. That is it. That is the whole formula. Not talent, not intelligence, not perfect conditions or perfect timing or the right connections or luck. Just the decision, made again and again every single day, to not stop. Think about how many times you have started something and stopped. A new habit, a goal you cared about, a skill you wanted to build. You began with real energy and real intention, and then things got harder. Results were slow, motivation disappeared, and you stopped. And the stopping is exactly the moment where everything you built until that point gets lost. Here is something that will change how you see difficulty. The hard part is not a sign that something is wrong. The hard part is the part that most people quit at. And because most people quit there, the hard part is actually the part just before the distance between you and everyone who stopped grows wide. Think about a person digging for gold. He digs for a long time. His hands hurt. He is tired. He finds nothing. And right at the moment he decides to stop and walk away, he is standing just 1 meter above the gold he was looking for. One more day of digging would have changed everything. But he stopped, and he never knew how close he was. You do not know how close you are right now to the thing you are working toward. You cannot see it from where you are standing. That is exactly why stopping is so dangerous, because you make the decision to stop without knowing how near the breakthrough actually is. The people who succeed are not always the smartest. They are not always the most talented. They are simply the ones who kept going long after everyone else stopped. They moved when they were tired. They kept building when they could not see results yet. They continued when it would have been completely reasonable and understandable to quit. Are you tired? Rest for a moment, then continue. Are things taking longer than you expected? Accept that, then continue. Has something gone wrong? Learn from it, then continue. Just keep walking, because the only way you truly lose is by stopping before you arrive. Principle 5. Take the risk. Every day of your life, you take risks without realizing it. You get into a car. You cross the street. You eat food prepared by people you have never met. You trust people with your time and your feelings. Every one of these things carries some risk, and you do them anyway because you have decided the possible reward is worth the possible downside. So here is the question. If you are already willing to take risks every single day for ordinary things, why are you not willing to take risks for the things that actually matter most to you? What stops you? Most of the time, the honest answer is fear. Not fear that the risk will definitely fail, fear that it might fail, fear that people will watch and judge, fear that you will lose something comfortable and familiar that you currently have. But think about the people who changed the world. Every single one of them took a risk that looked unreasonable from the outside at the time. Steve Jobs started a technology company in his parents' garage. People thought it was a strange idea. Elon Musk put almost everything he owned into companies that many experts said would fail. J.K. Rowling kept writing and submitting a book that was rejected by 12 publishers before anyone said yes. None of these people were guaranteed success when they took those risks. They took them not because success was certain, but because staying where they were felt worse than the possibility of failing while moving forward. And here is something important about failure. When you take a risk and it does not work out, you do not lose everything. You gain something that cannot be taught any other way. Real experience, real knowledge about what does not work, real understanding that you survived something difficult and can survive it again. But when you never take the risk, you gain nothing except the growing weight of wondering what might have been. Your future is not inside your comfort zone. It never was. The life you actually want is waiting on the other side of a decision that feels uncomfortable. What risk have you been avoiding? What step have you been afraid to take? What are you waiting to feel before you are willing to begin? Because the people who are living the lives you admire are not the people who waited until all the risk was gone. They are the people who took the risk while the fear was still there. Principle 6. Control your mind before it controls you. Your mind is the most powerful thing you have, and it is also the most dangerous thing you have. Because your mind does not automatically work for you. Without training and without direction, it works against you. It tells you that you are not ready. It reminds you of every time you have failed before. It creates reasons to stay comfortable instead of growing. It makes fear feel like wisdom. And if you believe everything your mind tells you, you will never move. Think about a horse that has never been trained. It is strong and powerful and fast. But without any direction, it runs wherever it wants, into walls, through fences, into danger. All that power becomes useless without someone guiding it. Your mind is that horse, powerful beyond what you can fully see. But if you let it run without direction, it will take you exactly where you do not want to go, into laziness, into fear, into giving up before you ever really begin. You must become the person who directs the mind, not the person who obeys everything the mind says. Here is what this means in practical terms. Your mind says, "You are too tired to do this today." You say, "I hear that. I am doing it anyway." Your mind says, "This is too hard, and it probably will not work." You say, "I hear that. I am continuing anyway." Your mind says, "Other people are better at this than you." You say, "I hear that, and I am still going to try." You do not silence the mind. You do not pretend it is not saying these things. You simply stop treating everything it says as final truth. Successful people do not feel more confident than you. They do not have minds that never doubt. They simply have a relationship with their doubt that is different from most people. They hear it, and they act anyway. They feel it, and they move anyway. That is what controlling your mind actually looks like. Not the absence of fear or doubt, but the choice to move forward, even when fear and doubt are present. Train your mind like it is something that needs daily practice, because it is. Principle 7. Never expect others to build your life for you. There is a painful truth that many people discover too late. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your family, not your friends, not a lucky moment that arrives at exactly the right time. The life you want is not going to be delivered to you by anyone or anything outside yourself. This is not a pessimistic idea. It is actually one of the most freeing ideas you will ever accept. Because the moment you stop waiting for someone else to make things better, you realize something important. You already have everything you need to begin. Many people spend years waiting for the right support, waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for encouragement, waiting for permission. And while they wait, the years pass, and the life they wanted gets further away. Think about the most successful people you know or have read about. What they all share is not that they had the most support. What they share is that they stopped waiting for support and started moving without it. If someone encourages you along the way, that is a gift. Accept it with gratitude. But if no one does, that cannot be the reason you stop. Because the moment you make your progress dependent on other people's behavior, you give those people control over your future. And most of them are too busy with their own lives to use that control in your favor. Believe in yourself first. Work without waiting for applause. Build without waiting for permission. Because the people who once ignored you will eventually notice what you built. But by then, you will not need their attention anymore. You will already have arrived. Principle 8. Become someone people cannot ignore. I am not talking about becoming loud. I am not talking about being aggressive or forcing people to pay attention to you. I am talking about becoming so focused, so consistent, and so committed to what you are building that people simply cannot overlook what you are doing anymore. Weak people are easy to overlook, not because they are bad people, but because they give up when things get hard. They disappear when the work becomes difficult. They are there in the beginning when things feel exciting and gone by the middle when things feel slow and heavy. But a person who stays, a person who keeps showing up, a person who continues working quietly and consistently when everyone else has stopped, that person becomes impossible to ignore over time. Think about how people earn real respect in any area of life, not by asking for it, not by demanding it, by doing something consistently well over a long period of time, by showing up again and again, by being the person who does not disappear when things get hard. Some of you right now are too quick to be affected by what people say. Someone criticizes you, and you lose confidence. Someone doubts you, and you start doubting yourself. Someone ignores your effort, and you feel like stopping. But here is the truth. The people who are doing the criticizing and the doubting are watching. They are paying more attention than you realize, and nothing responds to their doubt more powerfully than you continuing to grow in front of them. You do not need to argue with people who do not believe in you. You do not need to prove anything with words. Just keep building, keep improving, keep becoming more than you were yesterday. Because one day the people who once looked past you will look at you and wonder when that happened, and you will know exactly when it happened. Every quiet day when you chose to continue. Principle 9. Be unstoppable, not just strong. Strong people are impressive, but strong people have limits. Strong people can work hard. Strong people can push through difficulty. Strong people can handle pressure. But even strong people reach a point where they feel they cannot continue, where the weight feels too heavy, where giving up feels like the only reasonable option. An unstoppable person is different, not because they feel no pain, not because they never get tired, but because stopping is simply not something they consider as a real option, no matter how hard things get. Thomas Edison failed more than 10,000 times before he successfully created the electric light bulb. 10,000 attempts that did not work. 10,000 moments where giving up would have been completely understandable. Most people would have stopped after 10. Some would have lasted 100. Very few would have reached 1,000. But Edison did not count his failed attempts as losses. He counted them as information, as proof that he was getting closer, as evidence that he was a person who did not stop. And because he did not stop, every room you walk into today can be filled with light at the touch of a switch. Now think about your own journey. Maybe you have failed at something important to you. Maybe you have tried and it did not work. Maybe you have felt like the effort was not worth continuing. But ask yourself honestly, have you failed 10,000 times? Have you truly exhausted every possible approach? Have you actually reached the limit of what is possible? Almost certainly the answer is no, which means there is still a path forward. There is still something to try. There is still a version of success that has not been attempted yet. Be the person who does not use the word impossible about their own dreams. Be the person who gets back up one more time than they fall. Be unstoppable. Not because the path is easy, but because you have decided that no difficulty on the path is large enough to make you quit permanently. Principle 10. The world responds to results. This is the hardest truth in this video, but it is also one of the most useful ones. The world does not reward effort. It rewards results. This might feel unfair. You can work incredibly hard and receive nothing if the work does not produce a result. You can try with everything you have and still not be recognized if the outcome is not visible. But understanding this truth clearly does not discourage you. It focuses you. Because if you know the world responds to results, you stop asking the wrong question. You stop asking, am I working hard enough? And start asking, is my work actually producing results? And if it is not, you change something. You try a different approach. You learn a new skill. You look honestly at what is working and what is not, and you adjust. Many people work hard in the wrong direction for years and then feel confused when nothing changes. But hard work without the right direction is like running fast on a road that does not go where you want to go. The effort is real, the energy is real, but the destination never arrives. Work hard, but also work smart. Constantly ask what results are actually being produced. Be honest with yourself when the answer is not yet what you need it to be. And use that honesty to adjust, not to give up. Because when results finally come, everything changes. The same people who questioned you will respect you. The same people who doubted your path will ask how you found it. And the same opportunities that seemed closed will begin to open. Results are the language the world understands best. Learn to speak it clearly. Before you close this video, I want to say one final thing. Think back to when you were very young. There was someone you admired deeply, maybe a person you knew, maybe someone you had only read about or seen from a distance. And when you looked at them, you thought something simple but powerful. One day I want to be like that. That feeling was not a mistake. That was something real inside you, recognizing what you were capable of becoming. But then life happened. People told you to be realistic. The world made you feel small sometimes. The distance between where you were and where you wanted to be felt too large. And slowly that picture inside you started to fade. But it did not disappear completely, because you are still here, still watching, still looking for something that helps you move forward. That is not an accident. That is the part of you that never fully stopped believing. You have heard 10 principles today, not as inspiration that lasts 1 hour, as tools, real tools that work if you actually use them. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop believing in impossible. Start now instead of waiting for the right moment. Do not stop even when things get hard. Take the risks that your future requires. Control your mind before it controls you. Stop waiting for others to build your life for you. Become someone who cannot be ignored. Be unstoppable when the path gets difficult. And focus your energy on producing real results. These principles do not work because they sound good. They work because the people who actually follow them consistently build lives that look completely different from where they started. You can be one of those people. Not because you are special in a way others are not, but because you have the same capacity for growth that every person who ever improved their life had. The only remaining question is what you will do with today. Keep learning, keep growing. I will see you in the next video.